If you're new here, welcome. And to my regular fan base, welcome back. So, in this live video, and it's going to be a long one, it's going to be a very long one, but today, 3rd of January, this today is the benchmark towards my son's father, me, going it alone. I'm not going to waste any time here. There's a lot to get through. But it's my hope that following the advice given to me by many people who see my journey, who see how much of a great father I am with my son, my posts don't lie. I've always been authentic and real. Advice I've been given by quite a few people actually on how to do this, give me the confidence and the belief that I have within myself to ensure that I can do this whilst maintaining my composure. I want to say a massive thank you, and then especially even more massive thank you to Hector. Third time I've name dropped this marvelous and wonderful man, Hector Brito. Go and follow him. He's a wonderful man. He knows his stuff. He's knowledgeable not only the court system and parental alienation, but he has a plethora and a wealth of knowledge in so many other areas including spirituality and life experience of hardships and how he's, flourished in spite of the worst odds, like me. Sorry about that, ding ding. Anyway, now that all that's out the way, let's begin. And I'm going to play a live video. And it's a long one. So enough talking. Let's let this speak for itself. I might have to leave the room at times because it's nearly an hour long. But I'm going to let the voice recording speak for itself here.
Do something for me.
No problem at all. Take your time.
All right. Well, we've got this meeting because you know that we've got a court hearing on the 10th.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I think, well, I know that Ellie's explained to you. I think you understand that there was this issue with the re-timetabling. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, the court is only, we're going to use this hearing, but not for what it was previously meant to be used for because of the re-timetabling.
Okay.
So we're only going to be using it to deal with the local authorities' application, Ealing's application, to suspend contact between you and Austin. Yeah. Now, I know you've said to us before and in emails that you're okay about that.
Contact so me and my son are not being observed creepily and freakishly. Yes, because it's damaging not only myself, but much more importantly, my son psychologically. And instead of contact, I am going to fight for my son in the community. And I'm going to fight for doing school runs. That's what I would like.
Okay, but that is, you do appreciate that is not going to be something that's going to be on the agenda on the 10th. What is going to be looked at is the contact, which is the only way that contact is being agreed at the moment that contact can happen, which is supervised in a contact centre. And I know you don't like that. I understand it's difficult, yes.
Especially when you've been falsely accused of egregious, disingenuous and deplorable accusations. And also especially when I can prove that I'm an innocent man. No, hang on, not yet. I can prove that I'm an innocent man.
Okay. I'm explaining to you.
Go ahead, explain to me.
All we're going to be dealing with is the suspension of that contact in the contact centre.
Sure.
And, I mean, effectively, we need to be able to explain to Lorna, your barrister,
okay,
what your views are on the suspension of contact in the contact centre. And it's not just a brief one, they have to make a special application when they want to stop it for the foreseeable future, all right?
Okay.
So it won't resume, all right? So you don't want that contact. So if we're saying, I mean, you're saying that you'd like a break from that, you don't want to have it in the contact centre. Are we telling on Lorna on your behalf?
No, I don't know if Ellie Mae briefed you yesterday, and I'm well within my rights to do this. I'm going to defend myself in court. And I know I've my rights to do this.
So, sorry, but what do you mean about defending yourself in court?
My voice will be heard.
Yes, but I'm trying to work out what that means for Ellie and I, because if you wish to represent yourself, are you saying you want to dispense with us as your solicitors?
If that's the only option, then absolutely. Because I'm just a cog on the wheel with you people. I'm just a money-making opportunity along with all the other men whose lives have been destroyed by accusations. You're doing this for money. I'm doing this as my son's father. And as a man and as a father, I need to do this. I need to give my son everything out of me that's inside of me. And I can counter the local authorities' top money solicitors with honour, integrity, accountability, truth, compounded evidence stacking. I can prove many things. And what better way to do this than for me to represent myself in court? So yes, absolutely, I want to dispense. If that is the only option, I will do it.
Okay, so we would call that disinstructing us, which is basically we would then write to the court and tell them that we're not representing you anymore. So we won't communicate with you at all, and you wouldn't communicate with us,
Okay.
and we wouldn't act on your behalf. You would be acting in person.
I feel that's the only way for my voice to be heard myself, and especially for my son's sake. I feel no disrespect to you. I don't want it to come across that I'm being disrespectful to you. I can understand, and I can, bless you, Ellie Mae. I can understand and I can admit that my attitude is indeed very bad at times. I'll be the first to admit this. But in my defense, when you are emotionally exhausted from everybody attacking you left, right and centre, and people just failing you because they don't like you based on your attitude, I know, without sounding cocky or narcissistic, I believe I've got intelligence. Even Anne commended me on my intellect, okay? And I do believe that I have it well within my capabilities towards keeping my composure and to fight diligently and respectfully. I'm a child of God. This is in God's hands. And the judges, no, please don't interrupt me. This is in God's hands and this is in the judge's hands, right? I went to Mass earlier on and I asked for a prayer by the local priest, and he gave me such a heartfelt prayer, and I've never been as sure as I am sure right now of anything in my life. I burst up blubbering like a baby. The Holy Spirit's with me. God is with me. My voice will be heard, and this is going to be taken care of by Austin's father. Enough's enough.
Well, Christopher, we can't, if you want to disinstruct National Legal Service, which is me, Nelly.
I don't want to, but if that's the only option so that I can defend myself, then I have no choice. Is that the only option?
Well,
yeah.
It's what, I don't know if you can sort of, take on board the court process. We keep, we do say it to you often enough. We are here to represent your views. We're only going to put forward what you ask. That's why we're on the phone to you today, because we're going to court. Theoretically, for on the 10th, your barrister Lorna will speak on your behalf regarding the contact. That's all that's going to be dealt with.
Well, I'd like to speak on behalf of myself, please, if that's an option, because I've been actually edgy. Whilst all this has been going on, people think that they've broken me, but I tell you what, it's made me stronger. In the past year and a half, I had to learn to be political, peaceful, respectfully aggressive, introspect, look at the other viewpoint, even when I don't like it myself, of how I've been treated. And I can tell you, respectfully, on Facebook, I've had many people reach out to me. They see my countless upon countless videos / hours of me and my son, his development, me always being there from 1 to 6. I can show you a video at the end if you would like to prove this, which I will be showing in court as well, with my son's development. But I've had many people on Facebook educate me of what my rights are. People that are solicitors on Facebook saying, you know, listen, man, you need to do this yourself, because how people are treating you, you're just a cog on the wheel. They don't care about you. And I'm beginning to see this based on the attitudes from, how do I put this respectfully and politely, from interactions I've had with people lately. So all I want to say is, respectfully, my voice will be heard. I'm going to fight for my son, right? And it's going to come from his father. And I just want to say that it's no disrespect to yourselves. I'll be the first to admit, hands up, my attitude has been very bad at times. Look, accountability. I said the same thing to Ellie Mae on the phone call yesterday. This is my secret sauce. This is my weapon. I'm not only blame shifting and deflecting, because I don't do that. I tell the truth. I'm accountable for myself, okay? I don't just blame others like a coward and lie like a coward. Not me. So I'm going to go to courts. My voice will be heard. I'm going to counter their top solicitors with factual information, logic, proof of my device, many things. And I have the opportunity to do this.
Okay, I'm going to explain to you again, Christopher, that is... So let's imagine we go to court on the 10th, right, next week, yeah? We're in court, and the local authority, the way it will work is the local authority, because they're the applicant, will stand up and say, we've got an application, the court has made it clear, the application's before the court, which is to suspend Mr. Murray's contact. And, you know, your barrister will give your view of it, if that is what you want us to do. And
I would like to speak for myself, so I can come across powerfully as my son's father.
That is not what they're going to be talking about. They're going to be talking about that application and only that application, and whether you agree to contact being stopped in the contact centre. And your barrister is perfectly capable of saying, yes, you've had enough and you want it to stop in the contact centre. They're not going to be discussing anything else.
I would like to do school runs instead, so my son doesn't suffer.
But that isn't all what we're looking at.
Of course, because you don't care about the child's feelings, do you? You don't care. That's what I'm saying. Just a cog on the wheel. It's all money for you people. You don't care about the child. No one does, and it's blood on everyone's hands. I mean, so if I'm forced to go to contact as a last resort, then I don't want my son suffering. But think about this. Consider this. Why would Maria meet me at Pizza Express if I was if I was a dangerous man, which is false? Why would my son want to meet his dada at Pizza Express if I was a dangerous man? Well, two things. At contact, he has the choice. Go back to contact. He has the choice to see his dada, right? He could have said no any time. Never did he do that. Every day, every week, he was there. Not only that, why do you think, right, I recorded every single week, the times a week I was there, as I was coming into reception, taking a video, my boy running up to me every time, and I've got that over 2 months of that. Would a child act that way if he had indeed been abused, strangled? I grew up in the care system, okay? I can tell you, respectfully, that if I was abused, or when I was abused, I would be cowering in the corner like this. I wouldn't want nothing to do with anybody. Logic gap, big one.
Christopher, you've accepted both yourself and you've signed agreements that you know, it's very intrusive to film a child all the time. It's not good for a child to be.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, it's just like it's very disingenuous. I find that comment disingenuous when you consider, well, it's not very nice for the child to have his face scratched by of all things, his dad's beard. Case takes nearly over a year to close, can be proven. And, moreover, his dad's been accused of strangulation. But no marks were reported. I'm still waiting for marks to be reported. I find that absolutely reprehensible. So you can think what you like. I find that even more reprehensible than what you're insinuating, respectfully.
Well, you signed agreements confirming that you wouldn't film or not. You have your phone out for more than 10 minutes, and you accepted that, and then you started using it. I mean, it's...
No. Actually, you're mistaken. Because let me take you back. So at the Contact Community Centre, yes, this is true, and perhaps I was wrong here. I was so wrapped up in proving my innocence, right? I didn't respect other people and children, and unintentionally, underlined bold italic font style, unintentionally, capital letters, I posted, which was intentional, my son ran up to his dad, unintentionally, was a child in the background. Could I be more mindful here? Perhaps I should have been, but I was so wrapped up in my emotions, showcasing. Social media is a very powerful thing, ladies, that's what I will say. Showcasing who I am as a father, my capabilities, the truth is going to come out. I will not be silenced, right? And I did this, right? So yes, following this, I should say, right? Thank you for your patience to listen to me. I really appreciate it. So following what happens, the instant that occurs, okay? Yes, you're correct here. I did sign where I wouldn't record anymore at the reception, not in the room. I was told I would be able to film my son in the room, which I did. And I have been, minus the first or two times where I went over the rules. I did make a conscious, deliberate effort, which should be proven. The last, 8, 9 times I was at Contact, 7, 8, 9, something, I don't know, that I did keep videos well under the 10 minutes. And I did. That should be proven. At first, when it was so fresh, once or twice, I did unintentionally, accidentally break the rules. However, after the mistake or two of those mistakes, I did keep videos well before 10 minutes, and it can be proven, okay?
Okay.
Just so you're aware.
That is only a little bit of it, isn't it? That isn't...
Okay.
What they're wanting to suspend for is because that they find some of the things you say to Austin inappropriate in the contact room, like talking about social services, talking about Maria, the contact room staff don't feel very comfortable and feel threatened and intimidated.
Oh, of course, absolutely. Of course they'll say that.
So that is the reason they don't feel it's a safe environment.
Well, I feel it's a very unsafe environment psychologically for me and my son to be creepily stared at. Psychologically, it's damaging my son and I. This is the rare instance where I'll actually agree with the contact service supervisors. Only I'm not a liar and a creep and a repulsive human being who just does things for money and destroys people's lives and flips the narrative by exerting control that feeds into their own political ways. That's not me. I'm a man of integrity and truth, thank you. And I can say I find it incredibly creepy. So I felt unsafe. And I felt, moreover, my son was unsafe with how creepily, disgustingly creepily, women were staring at my son. I didn't like it at all, and I flagged that up.
Okay. These are some of the many things, but the main thing is that you walked out and that Austin was very upset by you walking out.
Well, I walked out. However, I did stay until the end. I was going to walk out at first early because I couldn't take anymore. See, I know this is coming. I'm not an idiot. See, I don't know if you've seen the film 8 Mile. Have you heard of the film 8 Mile with Slim Shady, right? And you know at the end the rappers, they're rapping a rap battle. How does this relate to me a lot? Stick with me. And he's been grinded down so much by everybody. You're this, you're that, cussing them out, this, that, saying lies, this, that. And then at the end, I've forgotten exactly what it says, but he goes, tell something these people that they don't know about me. So in other words, I've been grinded down so much by the authorities with lies and then flipping it, saying that, because I know what's coming, they're going to say by me walking out of Contact, I'm the bad guy. Whereas I was so beaten down. So the walking out of Contact, was it wrong? Yes, absolutely it was. However, I was so beaten down over the last year and a half of people coming at me at all cylinders, right? First the case taking a whole year to close, mind you, right? Beard scratching, then strangulation, right? On top of that, all the deaths I've been through, wife, second son, mum, dad. On top of that, like, I refused to work with the local authority originally. This is why they hate me, because I wanted a fresh start after beating the Surrey local authorities. No. Multiple times. No, you let me finish, please. Right? Multiple times, I wanted a fresh start of parenting. Do you realise how much parenting across generations energy takes? Right? Let me finish. Don't interrupt me, please. Right? I wanted a fresh start. I wanted for my son and my mother-in-law. I felt I proved myself when I was in Surrey. Right? All the times we went to the offices, all the times me and my wife, all the times they came to our house. It's never enough. And I'm beginning to realise this now. My past was going to be a life sentence. But now my voice is going to be heard. Now I'm going to prove things from my device. I'm going to prove many things, right? Because I have had enough, right? I want to fight for my son, right? Everybody said all these bad things about me. Yeah, they're right to a certain degree. My attitude has been bad. Whose attitude wouldn't be bad when you've always done the right thing? You've always tried your best. Considering where you came from, care system, mental health, walked away from the system at 29, chose to walk away, got the 3-bedroom house, got my business, got a beautiful child. Do you know what I think? I think that it disgusts the authorities. I think that they hate it that I chose to walk away. I think it's bad PR for them. So they're going to revert and do the cowardly gutless thing and revert to my criminal history. And with respect, Tracy, based on your attitude, I know I'm a cock on the wheel. I know that you don't give a shit about this case. So I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to do what's right for me. Yeah, okay.
Christopher, I am going to stop you there. If that is your feeling, that you don't think we're doing the best by you and that you want to do it yourself, Ellie, are you ready for that instruction? My suggestion is that you actually put it in writing to us that you've disinstructed us. That's all we need. We don't need any reasons. And that from going on, you'll represent yourself. And then we'll notify all the parties that we no longer represent you in the proceedings, yeah?
So does that mean... Off you.
It means we will come off the record and then that's it. We'll have nothing more to do with your case.
So does that mean from here on out, I will have the opportunity to defend myself as my son's father?
Well, there's no...
It should do.
Depending, you will just have to produce all your own evidence, but it's not in the way...
I've got that.
It won't be acceptable in the way that you're talking about.
Oh, really?
I mean...
Why is that?
No, because
Why would that be?
You'll still have to prepare the statements and all the things that... Yeah. So the orders will come to you and you'll have to comply with them. And the first thing will be to go to court on the 10th yourself.
That's fine.
And then you tell them what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm going to write out all my notes. How I've spoken to you now is a taster of how I'm going to be in court. I'm going to write out all my notes to the judge.
That is not going... I mean, I'm just going to advise you as a lawyer about what will happen. That is not going to be discussed at court on the 10th. What will be discussed is the local authority's application to suspend your contact for the foreseeable future.
And how long do they... So you say the foreseeable future. How long do they intend to say for the... or in reality is for the foreseeable future?
Well, I think they'll keep it... they have to keep it under review because contact isn't about... Strangely, isn't for you. The contact is for the child as a benefit to,
So if they gave an SHIT about the child, then why would they just drag it out as long as possible?
I'm not saying they're dragging out. At the moment, the application, which you've been saying, you've got the application, you know what they're saying, you've seen the application.
I haven't actually, in all fairness, because I've had to do this thing called work, and it's been a lovely day and I've just gone out. I did receive the letter, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. That's the God's honest truth.
Well, the application explains why they want to suspend contact, but it won't, and in these situations, legally, they have to keep it under review. But while the proceedings are ongoing, that there will be no contact between you and Austin. Yeah.
Right.
You can ask for it to be reviewed. All right.
So, and does that include school runs? What if I turned up at my son's school to pick him up? What would happen then?
They'll be up to the local authorities.
Because Maria met me at Pizza Express, mind you, so I'm not scared at all.
Sorry?
Maria met me at Pizza Express, mind you, so I'm not scared at all.
I don't think it was seen as an advisable move for Maria because
Oh, really?
the
Why's that?
concern is that, you know, that it's not risky. It's also, she's, at the moment, he's subject to an interim care order, Austin, yeah? Which means, you know, he's got, you know, got a corporate parent as well as you, and Maria effectively at the moment looks after him on behalf, Austin, on behalf of the local authority at the moment.
Right, against Dada's will. You know, let me tell you something about Maria, right? This has been drawn out meticulously and insidiously by her as a covert narcissist. They're very good at manipulating the court system. I've been doing a lot of research about this. And it's, you know that expression, hindsight 2020, where you can't see it at the time, but then you look back on it and you figure out the pattern, right? So I want to explain something to you. My mother-in-law wanted to be special guardian. This is where it all started. She wanted to be special guardian to my son. Dominating. Ever since my boy was born, straight away, iron grip on that pram. Wouldn't even let me have my moment. My son was a day old. Just born, I took him up fresh air. Just always dominant. Now, why am I saying this? Because I'm saying this for a multitude of reasons. The reason why I'm saying these things is when Maria wanted to be special guardian, I refused. I wanted to co-parent, right? I did. I wanted to co-parent. I wanted to put myself in this, and introspect and think, Maria, with respect, not sounding ageist, but I don't mean to sound ageist, but I'm going to. Time is not on her side. She's 72 years old, man, okay? I don't mean to sound disrespectful, but I'm thinking of my boy, okay? I'm thinking of not only Maria, the physical aspect with age, the mental capacity in her mobility as she ages. Already, you know why I'm happy with contact being suspended? You know what makes me upset, in addition to the supervisor's side note, before we get back to Maria, is that every time I would see my son's needs being neglected, I would see PE, like excessive energy. He'll tell me, Nana's not taking me out. Homework's not being attended. He'll tell me, Nana's not doing homework. But I'm the bad guy, okay? No, I'm not the bad guy. I care for my son, and I'm an innocent man. Going back to Maria, she wanted to be special guardian. I refused. As I said, I wanted to, with her age, respectfully, I wanted to envisage what it would be like if Maria was not here. I wouldn't have the chance to get ready. I'd have to be ready to take care of my son. So this is where the problem started. When I had my son for 15 straight days, 14 nights and one day, okay? 15 days in total, that's where problems occurred. That's where the problem started. That's when all of a sudden my beard scratches my son's face. Case takes nearly a whole year to shut. So something sick is going on. And it's not from me, I can assure you, right? I believe that it's my past that's been used against me. I can't change my past. My past shouldn't carry a life sentence though. It astounds me that people can't think. When you live with madness, when you live with schizophrenia, when you live with borderline personality disorders, when you live with heroin addicts, to name but a few, it astounds me that people don't realise you will become angry if you knew you don't belong there. Insert me, when I've just got ADHD and mild autism/Asperger's syndrome. I had a lot of anger inside of me. This is true. I've done many bad things. This is especially true. Accountability, right? But environment is everything, and I'll prove it. I haven't been charged in over 10 years, nor have I been arrested in a few years. My criminal history is spent, right? But no one wants to hear that. No one wants to hear, hey man, this guy chose to walk away from the system at 29, chose to get a 3-bedroom house, which you ladies have seen, chose to be very good at his business, right, and make fantastic money from it, because I know what I'm doing, right? I've got a good brain on me. I'm a man of purity and truth and accountability. I don't lie. I sleep well at night, right? But with Maria, my personal opinion is that with the strangulation, so two things. With the beards, she's used my past against me, got a lovely carer's allowance, and with the strangulation part, why do you think she never reported marks to my son's neck? Why do you, could there no marks to report? Why do you think she called the police the next day? Because she panics. This can be proven with black and white paperwork documentation.
Okay.
No,
Right.
so.
I'm going to stop this because we have had this conversation before. Okay?
Right, okay.
And I appreciate
I'm sure you
know,
do.
it's very important to
I'm
you,
sure
but
you
it's
do.
also very important to mine and Ellie Marie's job that we are doing our job, and our job is to advise and explain to you.
All right, I'll listen now. Fine, go ahead.
So it's our job, and we're here today to talk to you about what's going to happen and what your instructions are for the 10th. And the 10th is a hearing. It's not going to be looking at your past or anything. It's just simply going to be looking at the application
Indeed.
from the local authority to suspend your contact.
Right.
So we need to give instructions to your barrister if indeed you want us to still instruct your barrister to go to court and explain that you are in agreement with contacting, if that is your instruction, with contacting the contact centre being suspended. You told us in emails that you wanted a break from it, and if that's the case, it may be a good idea, because at the moment it seems to be just upsetting everybody.
Well, I mean, it's upsetting everybody because there's an innocent man here who's been, and most importantly, he's seeing, forget about me, he's seeing the detrimental effects of A, my child being studied and what's happened on my child. Forget about me, but for my child, and seeing my son like that, it's upsetting me, seeing him damaged like that psychologically. And B, my child's attendance not being met and seeing him week by week, and him continuously saying to me, Dad, Nana's not taking me to the park. Dad, this. Man, so, but if that means that I'm saying bad things to Maria because I care about my own son, well, I don't know what sick world you people live in or other people live by, but, I would like to know what would happen considering the fact that Maria has chosen to meet with me at Pizza Express, right? I would like to know what happens if I go to a public place and pick my boy up from school.
I suspect the police will be called.
Really? Well, I'd like you to put that forth to the judge and ask her what would happen, or I can do that myself, either or, because Maria chose to meet me in Pizza Express, but that's okay. It's okay an actual abuser looks after my child, which has been proven. That's okay, right? You know when I left contact, the last thing I'll say, when I left contact, I told my son the truth. I grew my beard out on purpose. I said, fill Dad's beard, son. And I tried to show you this last time before you cut me off, because I'm a cock on the wheel, you don't care, right? But I grew my beard out. I was like, fill my beard, son, if you remember, right? And he said, yeah, Dad, it's very prickly. I was like, this, son, I grew it out especially for you. This is what made your face go red. I explained to him about the mace. I showed him a video of the mace, how easy it is to hurt himself from the thistles, how dangerous it could be for children regarding that, right? I also showed my son the truth of his Nana. When my son said Nana pulled his hair, okay? When Nana, or my mother-in-law, Maria, was screaming, degrading my son, saying, you're a horrible boy, terrible you are, terrible. I can play the voice recording right now. You won't let me do that, of course, but it's okay. But I told my son the truth, and I showed my son the truth. And you know what, man? Nobody can take that away from me. I made my son feel. Why do you think when I've come to, yeah, perhaps it was wrong, right? I've given my reasons behind it, why I walked out. But why do you think a couple of days later, I'm minding my own business in public, he runs up to me, Dada! Throws his arms around me. Me and Maria talk things out. We agreed to get on peacefully for Austin. As he's getting older, as Maria's getting older, he's going to need his father to be involved with his physical attempts. He's going to need me to help out with his homework, right? Why do you think Maria, and then we met at Pizza Express, right? She chose to do that. I want to get on peacefully with A, Maria, right, which she's agreed with, and B, Emily Clark. I asked for a fresh start this year. Doing my tests with the local authority, putting on a fresh attitude in exchange for them to realise, because look, I could sue them if I wanted, and I can do that. I've been speaking to no fee firms. I've been told I've got an excellent case, and I can prove it myself at every time. But what is that doing to me energetically when I've got to work and make money? It's destroying me. I choose peace now, even with people that have wronged me, okay? And I just said, look, I'll work with you. I'll do my test while Maria's looking after my child. But all I'm asking, bare minimum, is I at least have my son's school runs, man, or in the community, something. Especially when I'm innocent.
But that isn't going to be up for discussion on the 10th, okay?
I see. So, can I represent myself on the 10th then? Because I can do it properly.
Well, if you want to, then if you wish to do this, I wouldn't advise it, Christopher, because I just wouldn't. But if that is what you want to do, and you want to disinstruct us, that's fine. But then you need to tell us now. We'll stand Lorna down, and we'll just let the local authority and all the parties know that you're now representing yourself.
If that means if I can only represent myself, and then that means I have to let you go, then respectfully and begrudgingly, I'm going to do that. Because my son needs his dad, right? He's the one that's been abused here by an actual abuser, right? I've got video evidence of this. I've got many things at every turn I can cover myself, right? I think it's best to represent myself. I'm just got a cock on the wheel to you people. You don't care about it. You don't care. It's money for you. You're working right now. I care. And maybe if you have children, you'll understand why I'm doing this, right? So let's just be real here. No one can take away my realness, right? I love that about myself, that I'm never fake. I love that I'm always told the truth and I leave a timeline of just everything I say adds up. Whereas liars, they can't. And you know what my belief is? The local authority, they wanted to adjourn it and drag it out further. Whether that was with the covert narcissist Maria instructions or local authority or a combination of both, I don't know. But you know what I love? Do you know what I love? The judge refused to have it adjourned. Maybe the judge is actually starting to read between the lines.
Christopher, I do want to intervene, because if you're disinstructing us, I need to let you know that we're going to have the local authority final evidence. That will be their final care plans for Austin on the 8th, isn't it? Elaine?
Yeah, the 8th, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe the judge is reading between the lines. That's why it wasn't adjourned. That's what I think.
It was purely to do with the timetabling and the extra time that they wanted. It wasn't anything reading between the lines.
Okay.
It was simply that
Maybe.
the Guardian didn't agree to the amount of time they wanted to complete various things and for us to respond. And we said that we accepted that without the delay in their final evidence was such that it didn't mean that we couldn't respond. Still with position statements, and that we could have a hearing. The judge kind of agreed with our position. The timetable that we proposed, which was a slightly less delay, but because they've made the application to suspend the hearing, this hearing will go ahead, but it's not to be used in the way that it was to be used before. We'll get another hearing shortly afterwards on the 20th. What is going to be happening is possibly a little bit of re-timetabling.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, this isn't an evidential hearing. It is to deal with an application, and it is to deal with an application on a very, very, very specific point, which is about suspending your contact in the contact centre. It is not going to be one where they will discuss alternative contact. It is to suspend your contact.
Well, see, the thing is, this just shows me that they don't care about the child and it's all money. It's blood on their hands. I would like to know, right, and you know it's the truth, I would like to know what would happen, and I'm going to give it a try, actually, if I was to go to my son's school, would double standards apply? Because Maria chose to meet the father, right, at Pizza Express. So I would like to know what would happen if I met Maria at my son's school whilst being supervised by Maria. That's what I would like to know.
Well, I just told you that I wouldn't recommend it.
Well, Maria met me at Pizza Express. No consequences for her, right? An actual abuser. which has been proven. Right?
Well, I think, I mean, I'm reading from the statement there has been, they've gone back to her and told her, advised her not to, because to me, she shouldn't have done, because she knows that your contact is meant to be supervised professionally.
Well, I mean, I've proven myself professionally for 5 months, since July, at contact. Every single week, my son and I have been joyous encounters, loving, very rarely any mishaps, at least between my son and I. My attitude between the observers, absolutely disgusting at times. I would admit that, but I can counter that by saying it's because I've been creepily studied and just looks I'm getting and just like remarks I get and trying to provoke me. I'm beginning to see now people try and provoke you when they've got nothing on you. They try to provoke. And one thing I promised myself 2 things. One, I'm going to maintain my composure, and because otherwise I'm giving my power away, right? And 2, I will be very strong for my son. And with the court system, I really don't understand this. How your bid takes, or my bid takes a year to shut the case, and B, no evidence marks were reported. What's going on? Something stinks. Something's not right. People think I'm stupid. They think, because this guy's got a past, this kind of his sheltered life, right? No, I'm very intelligent, right? I'm about to flip the script with logic, composure, truth, accountability, right? Integrity, and I would like to share something with you guys. It's very powerful, and it's really helped me a lot. I read out a little mini statement. Maria failed to send evidence of my son's marks on Austin's neck. Next day, telling the police I'd done this to cover her own failure and logic gap. Lies, key factor. The school have never had any problems with me attending my son's school special events. Let me drop him off, so surely they will be calling the police if any problems. I have been to Maria so many times since last conference, so why was the police not being called by either the school or Maria respectfully? Also, where was bruise and marks reported to my son's neck? There were none, as it never happened. I have evidence of so many videos of Maria. Yeah, exactly, you don't want to hear it because it's the truth. Exactly.
But Christopher, it isn't what we're having this meeting about at the moment.
Right, I see. So,
it's not that I don't want to. I know we've explained to you that when we prepare your final evidence, which we will, in response, on your behalf, in response to the local authority's final care plans, we can say all the things you want to say, but saying them now isn't kind of going anywhere because we've heard these from you. To be fair, you've said them, and we've given you the opportunity to say them, and you will have the chance to say the things you want to say in your written final evidence.
Yes.
But at the moment, and I'm glad you've written it down. It's going to be very helpful when we try to take instructions from you to write your final evidence. But what it's not dealing with is what's the matter in hand, which is we need to deal with this application tomorrow. I know that Maria has been told, and you've got a statement explaining this, she's been, that she shouldn't have agreed to meet with you, with Austin.
Well, she chose to meet with the dad to make peace for Austin. To make peace for Austin. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. But this will be discussed because it will form part of her special guardianship assessment. But Ellen, when are we actually due? I thought it was already. How late are we with the special guardianship assessment?
I believe we're supposed to be due on the 20th of December.
We haven't had it, have we?
Nothing's come in. No, I think there's a delay in it. Let me just check. Hold on.
Of course it is.
I mean, I know that they want to. I mean, part of all this is they wanted to reschedule the final evidence, isn't it? But that's still due on the.
Yeah, because they're panicking. They're asking for more time because they're panicking. They've got nothing.
No, but I mean, this issue about you meeting with Marie and the social workers assessment, it will be a very long assessment, an in-depth assessment, and it will address things. You know,
Yeah.
like Marie's age, these things that concern me,
Right.
and issues that have been raised. But
Mm-hmm.
we do need it. I'm not entirely sure why we've yet to have it. I know they needed
Right.
it. It was held up.
And what about my son's interaction with Dada at contact? Dada always wanted to be involved in his homework, his development, his nourishment, right? Engaged, emotional immersion, to name but a few. I can go on and on. What about that? Consider that. Because,
I think the problem is, and why they want to suspend it, where
Right.
this application has come from,
Yeah.
is, and I mean, it's in the statement that Ellie May forwarded to you in support of their application from the contact notes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can read back to you as well, just as you read to us, so, and it says in that statement from the contact report, Christopher was very angry today, complained about social services, about Austin's grandmother, about us, those are the supervisors.
Which I did. I'm not opposed to that. I'm not lying
He
about
told
that.
Austin he couldn't take it anymore and that he was not going to put himself through the situation. He told Austin that he loved him, but he would not be coming back. Austin became very upset and began crying. He told his dad he wanted to see him, and since Mr. Murray had been threatening to leave, Austin begged him not to go. In the room, Mr. Murray, after finding out how Austin was, he asked Austin if he remembered the time, and then there's the bit about the thistles again.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That we've heard.
Key point of evidence. Yeah.
About it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Key point of evidence. Yeah.
After Austin told his dad that he knew he'd not been trying to hurt him, Mr. Murray told Austin, "You would not want to see me if I tried to hurt you, would you?" So these are this is accurately responding what you've just told us. You said.
And it's the truth.
It's
the
Austin
truth.
would say that he would not want to see him if that happened, but instead Austin told his dad that even if he had tried to hurt him, if he'd said he was sorry and would not do it again, he would then want to see him. Mr. Murray also complained that it had taken a year for the allegation to be sorted, and when you talked to him about the red face.
Sure. Yeah.
And then you played a recording of Austin saying his grandmother had pulled his hair.
I did.
And later asked Austin, so it records very accurately what happened.
It does.
At the meeting.
No lies detected there for once. Absolutely. For once.
Okay.
I mean, insert Abigail Dado with shotgun offences, with having schizophrenia, with murder. Yeah, unlike Abigail Dado, that piece of vermin. Sorry.
Christopher.
Yeah.
I'm explaining to you
Go ahead.
why they want to
Go ahead. I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing.
Showed him some videos of his
I know what I'm
carer
doing.
saying not very nice things to him, and Barbara, I take it that Barbara is one of the
She
supervisors.
is, correct.
Told Mr. Murray that he should not be showing Austin the video or playing the recording, but Mr. Murray said he didn't care and he'd write what he wanted in the report, that we could write what he wanted in the report, and he didn't care if his contact was suspended and Austin needed to know the truth.
I did say that. I did say that. But is it not even more deplorable when Dad has been accused of strangulation and been scratching son's face? I find that reprehensible, actually.
Yeah, but...
Yeah. Sure. Sorry, go ahead.
Christopher.
Okay.
That's kind of not being very helpful when you start saying things like that. What I'm trying
absolutely.
to explain to you is what the reasons they are giving, and these are the reasons they have given to the court for why they're suspending it. And it is because your behaviour, however angry and upset you are, and perhaps justifiably or not, we can say those in your statement, it's causing upset to Austin in contact. It's making him...
Which is why I want to fight for school runs and have my son in the community, because guess what? No, not okay. Guess what? There were no problems before when I had my son in the community, minus the accusations. Look, and do you know what? Oh, I've got a little special present for you ladies. I've got a special present for you ladies, right? Hello, Poo-Poo. Where are you, Poo-Poo? I'm gonna chase you. Okay. In the maze. This is where we're supposed to leave. He has his neck. So we're gonna see my development. Where are you, Poo-Poo? Where are you? I got you. I found you. Do you want to join your football? Huh? Yeah, your Poo-Poo. Cheers. Can I give try a bit of each other's ice cream? I'll give you a bit of mine and I have a bit of yours.
Okay, I have to see the flavor.
It's mango. Do you like mango?
Yeah.
Try some. Is it nice?
A little bit.
Try a bit.
I like a little bit.
Try a bit.
I can't read it.
It's yummy.
Yeah, yummy.
Yeah, no problem. Can I try some of yours?
Yeah.
Turn.
But after can I go on again?
It's unpredictable.
Yeah,
Austin,
of course
at
it
the
is.
moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because sometimes you are unpredictable in the things, you know, you said yourself, you can get angry, and it's quite scary for those around you, and that includes your son sometimes.
When I'm unjustly accused of everything I've been accused of, I mean, battered by everybody.
It may be justified, but he's a very young boy.
Yeah, he's a very young boy, so isn't it not deplorable that he has to lose his daddy due to the disgusting, reprehensible, twisted, sick accusations of strangulation and beard scratching son's face and case taken a year to cut? Aisha, is that, excuse me, is that not even more deplorable? Is that not even more damaging? Is that, I think it is. Thank you.
At the moment,
Sure.
contact should be...
Oh, wait, I lost connection.
That's okay, no problem.
The thing is, contact is very short, and it should be an enjoyable experience, not a platform for...
Evidence stacking so my son sees the truth one day? Absolutely.
What is
Absolutely.
is for Austin to have a nice time, but Austin is getting upset at times because things are happening in contact that aren't really the right venue for these things to become...
Well, in my defence, I was told I could video A, and B, no lies can be told here. If people do their job properly, and there's a security of timeline stamps, right? And the last times I've always been at contact, which there should be, right? Videos were kept well before 10 minutes, 5, 6 minutes. And the last, God knows how many times, I made a conscious, deliberate effort to ensure this. So I only had 10 minutes of video of my son. So you can lie about that if you want, but the truth is the truth.
You can... I'm not doing any lying. I'm not reporting...
Or the authorities can lie about it. I'm sorry. My mistake. Okay.
We're here to deal, basically, just now, but I've got to be in another meeting.
Yeah, no, I understand.
So, I need to know what we are telling your barrister, and are we telling your barrister what's happened?
I would like the opportunity to speak for myself, so I don't think the barrister's required, because I'm going to come across to the judge in a very real, raw, and honest, authentic way.
Right, well, I'm going to advise you against that, and if you wish to act against advice, okay, and then you're saying that you want us to stand down about it, my honest opinion is it would not be to in your interest.
Why would that be?
Because the hearing on the 10th is about this one singular matter of suspending the contact, not the background, not the history, not what's happened in the last 5 years, is what is happening when you go to contact each session and why they feel the need to keep suspending it, and now they want to suspend it because it's not running very smoothly for Austin, and contact is meant to be for the benefit ultimately of the child.
So if it's ultimately meant to be the benefit for the child, I would like that you could put forth, I want to do school runs, please, or have him in the community.
Okay.
Can it, is that not an option? I'm sorry, is that an option or not?
Well, we can say that, but I have to. I mean, if you wish us to get that back for those to be your instructions to your barrister, we can put those forward. But I am telling you that if they're suspending it in the contact centre and nobody is recommending that you should be able to have anything other than supervised contact, there is very little likelihood that consideration is going to be given to you being able to see him in the community.
Well, when you say everybody, you mean who's everybody?
Well, the court. I mean, basically, you're putting this to the judge. The guardian is in. The guardian supports the application to suspend the contact. The guardian, not Marie, his children's, his court-appointed guardian, is who represents Austin's best interest, is supporting the application to suspend the contact.
So it's in my son's best interest to be of an aging covert narcissist who has his needs always neglected, never taken to the park, his homework attempts not be met. That's in the child's best interest? Really?
I'm not talking about
Got it.
Marie.
Got
I'm talking about Claire, his court-appointed guardian, not his carer.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So each child, every child in care proceedings has a court-appointed guardian that acts, in their best interest and speaks.
The best interest, right? Okay. Yeah.
So she supports.
Yeah.
This guardian supports
Mhm.
the application,
Right.
and they will put that, and because the guardian speaks for the child, and I'm not talking about Marie here, I'm talking about his children's guardian, which I know is very confusing because
I've never even met the guardian.
Well, but that's because she's, I'm sure she never contacted you.
No, nothing. Everyone ghosts me. Everybody. Which I'm sure, and it's not just, and it's not just me. It's not just me. It's that bittersweet because other people, they're ghosted all the time. I thought it was personally to me at first. Everybody's ghosted because the people are cowards.
Okay.
It's money.
Anyway, we've got.
Anyway, yeah, exactly. Right.
We've got 5 minutes left, so if
Exactly.
you wish our instructions to be that you're agreeable to suspend contact.
So when are we out of court? So excuse me. When are we out of court? So when are we out of court proceedings? When are we out of court proceedings, please? How long?
Not anytime soon, Christopher.
Not any time.
Not anytime soon.
So what? March? Dragged out more? Probably dragged out more.
I'll give you a timeline.
Right?
So the hearing on the 10th of January
By
will
COVID
be
narcissists.
to decide the local authority's suspension.
Yeah.
And a re-timetabling has been proposed. I've sent you the consent order for an IRH hearing after the 20th of January. So not any time soon.
So March latest or what? More? Dragged out more?
It
Probably?
depends on the court availability.
Right.
It depends on the court availability. So,
We haven't even got final hearing listed yet.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. To me, it seems like things are being dragged out intentionally because people want me to break.
No.
They want me to break
To do the court
and lose
process
control.
and finding space for the
That's what they
hearings.
want.
The
That's
court
what
is
they
fully booked. And I've got to try and find space. It's not about being dragged out intentionally.
Really? I see.
It's trying to find space in the judge's diary.
Oh, got it. Well, I'll leave you both with this. And I love this. This has helped me out a lot to maintain my composure. And I want to share this with you. Questions like that, and this has trained my mind for court when I represent myself. Questions, this is when the authority is going to be trying to provoke me intentionally when they've got nothing on me. Because they want to say, gotcha. It ain't going to work. That's the old me. And I love this. Questions like that, this is the authorities, all apply subtle or indirect methods to express hostility whilst maintaining plausible deniability and appearing innocent on the surface, when in fact none of...
I don't know that. I'm sorry. I've got 4 minutes left of this call.
Yeah.
And I need to know.
The goal is to create a reaction or frustration in the other person without openly admitting towards doing so. Yeah.
Christopher.
Yeah.
Are your instructions to us that you are agreeable to?
I would like to represent myself as my son's father. I've made that clear. I would also like an email, respectfully, if you could kindly do such, okay? An email sent to my device to the court's address. And I'll star it this time. I know you have to understand, I don't mean to be disrespectful. We get a lot of emails back and forth between us. So if you could send one more email of the court, well, I know it's the 10th, but the location, I'll star it. From here on out, I represent myself.
Okay. Okay, well, in which case we're going to,
That's
Ellen,
fine. That's fine.
do you understand from myself and that we're both understanding that Christopher is standing us down? Yeah?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
Christopher,
I've got to fight for my son.
can you confirm that in writing in an email, please? That's completely fine. That's what you choose to do. But can you please confirm that in writing by email?
I can tell by the
And
attitudes.
then
I'm
we'll
just.
cancel your.
I can tell by the attitudes that I'm just a cog on the wheel. Money. No one cares about children. So I'm going to defend myself. All right?
That's completely fine.
That's fine. Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate
You
it.
need to put it in writing to us so that we can
Yeah, I'll do that. That's fine.
notify the legal aid agency that we're
Awesome.
no longer on the record.
No
We
problem
need
at
to tell
all.
the court.
My voice
But we're not
will
on
be
the
heard.
record.
This is going to be done correctly. All right?
Christopher, could you put it in writing to us today? Just as
When I find time, I'll do that for you, no problem. In turn, can you please send me an email, Ellie Mae, if you would? One last one of the location, please, okay? And I'll do the
Yeah, I
rest.
can do that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. All right? And I'll reach out later, okay? All right?
Thank
Take
you.
care. Have a good day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Sleep well at night.
Bye.
Bye.
So, in the unlikely event that you made it through all that, it's a long video, but something's saying to me that I'm onto something here. I do think that long-term speaking, this case will be won. But it starts today. I have to be man enough to represent myself and most importantly my child. No one's going to do him a better defense than his father. I have to do this. I have to be strong for my son, for my boy. And I would like to think God is going to take care of this. Today's been served as a benchmark on the roads, the long roads towards getting my child and proving my innocence. We made it this far. Much love. Thank you. Blessings. And we're going to keep the accountability coming. And we're going to show what's possible to other men. Thank you if you made it to this end of the video.